Welcome to our video on how to grow a garden that never stops producing. I'm your host, Brandon, and I'm excited to share these tips with you. You know, there's nothing quite like walking out to your backyard and harvesting a basket full of fresh veggies. That feeling, the one where you're practically bursting with pride, that's what we're after. And the secret to experiencing that feeling over and over, it's simpler than you might think. It's all about creating a garden that thrives season after season. Let's get started. Tip 1. Choose the right plants. Look for varieties that are known for their continuous production, such as indeterminate tomatoes, cucumbers, and squash. Now, when I say choose the right plants, I'm talking about selecting varieties that are known for their continuous production. It's like choosing the right fabric for a big project. You want something durable, beautiful, and long-lasting. And in the garden, that means opting for plants like indeterminate tomatoes. Unlike their determinate cousins, which produce a single harvest and call it a season, indeterminate tomatoes just keep on growing and producing fruit all summer long. And speaking of all-stars, let's not forget about cucumbers and squash. Just like those indeterminate tomatoes, they're in it for the long haul. But here's a little tip. When you're flipping through those seed catalogs or browsing the garden center, keep an eye out for words like ever-bearing or continuous harvest. These are your secret weapons in the quest for a never-ending supply of fresh veggies. Tip 2. Use trellises and supports. This will help your plants grow upwards, making the most of your space and encouraging continuous production. Let's talk about giving those plants a little boost. Literally, just like we add shiplap to a room to give it character and make it feel bigger, trellises and supports add so much to a garden, both practically and visually. Think about it. When plants sprawl out on the ground, they're more susceptible to pests, diseases, and, let's be honest, a little dirt. Plus, they end up taking up way more space than they need to. But when you give them something to climb, like a sturdy trellis or some elegant stakes, it's like you're unlocking their full potential. Not only does this free up precious ground space, which is like gold for a gardener, but it also improves air circulation around the plants, reduces the risk of disease, and makes harvesting a breeze. Now, when it comes to choosing the right type of support, it all depends on what you're growing. Tomatoes love a good, strong trellis, while cucumbers and beans are perfectly happy winding their way up a teepee or archway. And for heavier fruits like melons, you might want to consider a sturdy hammock-like structure. Chapter 3. Mulch, mulch, mulch. Host. Tip 3. Mulch, mulch, mulch. Mulch helps retain moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature, all of which will help your garden produce continuously. All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite gardening chore. Mulching, I know, it might not sound like the most glamorous task, but trust me on this one. Mulching is like giving your garden a big, warm hug. It's one of those simple but oh so effective things you can do to keep your plants happy, healthy, and productive all season long. Think of mulch as a protective blanket for your soil. It helps retain moisture so you're not constantly watering, suppresses those pesky weeds that love to steal nutrients from your precious plants, and even helps regulate soil temperature, keeping those roots nice and comfy even when the weather throws a curveball. There are so many different types of mulch out there, from classic shredded bark to pine straw, compost, and even cocoa bean hulls. And yes, they smell as good as they sound. The key is to choose a type that fits your style and the needs of your garden. At Chapter 4, Efficient Irrigation, host Tip 4, Use efficient irrigation. Drip irrigation systems deliver water directly to the roots of your plants, reducing waste and ensuring they get the water they need to produce continuously. You know how much I love a good DIY project, but sometimes it's worth investing in a little efficiency, especially when it comes to watering your garden. And that's where drip irrigation comes in. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Drip irrigation sounds complicated, but I promise it's much easier than you think. And the benefits? Well, they're more than worth the little bit of effort. Unlike traditional overhead watering, which can lose a lot of water to evaporation, drip irrigation delivers water directly to the roots of your plants, right where they need it most. This means less waste, healthier plants, and more time for you to enjoy your garden instead of standing around with a hose. Plus, drip irrigation systems are incredibly customizable. You can set them on a timer so you never have to worry about forgetting to water, and you can adjust the amount of water each plant receives based on its individual needs. Chapter 5. Feed your plants. Host Tip 5. Feed your plants regularly. Use a balanced fertilizer to provide your plants with the nutrients they need to keep producing. Just like we need nutritious food to thrive, our plants rely on essential nutrients in the soil to grow strong and produce an abundance of delicious fruits and veggies. But just like we can't expect to eat the same thing every day and stay healthy, our plants need a balanced diet to reach their full potential. That's where fertilizer comes in. Think of it as a vitamin boost for your garden. A good, balanced fertilizer provides your plants with the essential nutrients they need to grow strong roots, resist pests and diseases, and, of course, produce an abundance of delicious food. Now, there are a lot of different fertilizers out there, so it's important to choose one that's right for your garden. Look for a fertilizer that's specifically designed for fruits and vegetables, and be sure to follow the instructions carefully. Outrow Happy Gardening. Host. That's it. By following these tips, you can grow a garden that never stops producing. Happy gardening. Remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. It's about trying new things,